learned from the lesson. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a live, but I still reinvest it. Fear how I feel, then you feel like a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but the sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down, hold it.
What's good, bro? I heard you were looking for some CPI. I got CPI, PPI, ISM, PCE, anything you want, man. Let me know. Let me know. I got it for you, man. I got it for you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your watch list. I'm just having some fun here, but we need to talk about this rumor. Did the CPI leak? No, it did not. So, yeah, I know that it's the Kanye jacket. I've been running out of outfits, but I want to make this clear. With any of the headlines lately, if we are going to discuss something, if it is a rumor, I am going to put it there in the thumbnail, all right? So keep that in mind. Let me take this jacket off, but we'll talk about where this rumor came from and why it's important, because tomorrow morning, CPI is coming out. But now, the expectations, the White House, and what a lot of analysts are saying, it is very important. And what the market did today, it was crazy. It was like 2018 crazy. So let's get ready. Drop your thumbs up on the video. I'm gonna take this off and then yeah, let's get to it. New coat merchandise. All right, so let's break it down. Tomorrow, CPI, this rumor, some people are saying it got leaked. And where did it start? It all started here with Brian Deese and Jen Psaki. But Brian Deese, he's the White House like economic advisor. He said to expect an elevated March CPI reading. Even Psaki followed up and she warns of extremely elevated inflation data and blames the Putin price hike. But with all of this happening, right when that news came out, a lot of people on Twitter, even the chat went crazy. People were talking about this and it did get some traction, but it seems as if now we're playing the game we played a couple of months ago. Everybody's expecting high inflation. White House comes out and they're kind of like tempering expectations, and then we will get the report tomorrow and see. So tomorrow, CPI is expected to come in at 8.3%, but now this is my expectation. Anything above 9%, I think the market goes down and the market reacts negatively. Pretty much 8.3 to 8.9, I think it's going to still not be the best, but that way people will be able to get over it. And we talked about this today. The big thing people are going to bring up, they're going to bring up used car prices and then food and oil prices. So no matter what is reported, these will be the big three things that everyone's going to pretty much give bullish or bearish statements, and they're going to use these to justify pretty much whatever they're expecting. So there's that. Tomorrow CPI, again, it is going to be very straightforward. If you do want to understand anything for the future, even Brian Deese, it says here, he expects that it will decrease by the end of the year, but a lot of economists are all saying this one thing, and it is simply inflation right here on this CPI tomorrow. It should probably be the highest of the year. Now, they said the same thing there in around March and April, ended up not being true, so we will see how it plays out. But if you haven't picked up on it, tomorrow CPI, that is going to be a big catalyst. And now on top of that, I want to talk about FAANG 2.0. So today in the markets, you kind of saw a little bit of it. The thing about today, look at this quote right here. People are saying that the world markets are falling again with echoes of the 2018 rout. That was this right here, the 2018 taper crisis or taper tantrum, the first time Powell started to taper. And yes, he did start tapering before. Again, he's been here since 2017, but a lot of people, they observed a weird thing today. Bonds sold off, tech stocks sold off, even the dividend stocks sold off. Even oil went down. You didn't have really much going up today. And now people are kind of getting worried into the data. And then as we now start to see, pretty much a couple weeks from now, we will find out if the Fed is serious about raising, tapering, and all of that. But now, today didn't have any news or anything like that. It was simply bonds sold off, the market reacted, Hang Seng, China, people did not react positively to that. And then oil, they went down because of the China lockdowns, but now people are worried about the China economy. They even had more crackdowns, but eased some stuff. There was a lot of different things, but there really wasn't any big news today. But the thing is, bonds started selling off, and everything from energy to tech to bonds now, they they all move down at the same time. That is everything selling off. So that's why tomorrow is going to be important. Today didn't have much about it, but now FAANG 2.0. What is FAANG 2.0? Well, you've probably already got to see this, but it is fuels, aerospace and defense, agriculture, nuclear and renewables, and then gold and metals. So I thought this one was very interesting because why? These are a lot of the plays we've been covering, and somebody asked me today with the butterflies. I do want to get another one. We're going to go over them right now. They're totally clapped, but we'll see what happens from here. But someone was saying, okay, well, what put exposure do you have? I said, I don't really have puts. If you think about it, we have calls on all of these industries. So FAANG 2.0, this is why I'm bringing it up, because today you saw how the market looks when tech, energy, and everything goes down, and you did see some bright spots there with aero defense, and then some of the renewables. EXC lost, but some of the other ones like UUU and then CCJ, they went up. But here's the whole point. These are the big focus, and if this keeps playing out, if we see a long drawn-out war, we might watch a new FAANG emerge. Merrill Lynch is already talking about this, and this could be a big area. But now moving forward for the rest of the week, inflation, there was another rumor or talks about a story of Russia using chemical weapons, so we'll see what happens with that. But with any of it, I am going to be watching these industries. They don't have bonds on there, but I think that is just going to relate to policy, and then we'll watch TLT on our own thing. But today was very straightforward. There really wasn't anything. If you want to pay attention, it's bonds and then a little bit of the dollar, but mainly now tomorrow will give us the driving factor. Whatever happens with the CPI, that is going to dominate the headlines, and then earnings season kicks off, and then we see what happens. But that is it for all the news and events, but let us get into the plays. I don't know if I do it good on here. I usually have to go like 10 times anyways, but as far as the plays, I'm really going to be watching FAANG 2.0. We did make a couple of plays today, and these are what I'm going to be riding out. Again, I don't really have anything identified for tomorrow that I'm going to go after in the morning, so be there in the morning pre-market. Maybe things will change, but still focusing on everything from yesterday's watch list. Again, the bank earnings, we did make plays on those, so that's what I'm going to go over now, but I'm not really looking for anything new. But as far as plays, the first play that I did was Morgan Stanley, and I went both ways, but you could see how I waited. This is like a 2-day pre-earnings run-up, and I might end up holding it for earnings. We'll see if we could ghetto spread it or depending on how much I made, but I grabbed the 91 call for next week, a little bit amount of time, kept it small. I only spent $31. At one point throughout the day, it went up 100%, then bank stocks started slipping, came back down, but you'll notice premiums on the calls are up, but then later in the day, a couple hours, or I think after we were up 100%, I started looking at the puts, and then I grabbed a Morgan Stanley 77 put, and then this one was $45, and then you can see here, by the end of the day, it ended up going up. So now literally calls and puts leading into earnings, they are both up. So this is a pre-earnings play. We're going to ride this out, and why I went with Morgan Stanley, they are one of the top performing banks. Last earnings season, they did good. So if anyone's going to be a winner, it's going to be Goldman Sachs or Morgan Stanley. Those were the best earnings, so I figured, hey, let's go with one of the leaders, get both ways, keep it small. I spent $60 for both plays, so we could see what happens. And again, bank stocks, I am feeling optimistic. Shout out to the people in the chat. Some of you guys disagreed with me yesterday, and I love it. I'm really, really down with those opinions, again, because what I'm saying is I know it's an uphill battle. This is just my feeling. Some other people in Wall Street could echo this. Again, yields are sky high right now. It doesn't really make sense why bank stocks are low, but we will see what happens. Some of them do have an uphill battle for earnings, so remember, this is earnings season. This is all gambling. We don't know, so we're going to see what happens. But that is the first play, and then the second play, another bank stock, but this one was related to the news. We did a Deutsche Bank, and this one, I was able to snake it there early. It did end up chilling out a little bit, but you can see I'm like literally the lowest order there on the option. I grabbed a Deutsche Bank April 22nd $11 put, and why? There was a big block trade. It was a $100 million block trade at like $12 or $11 there. We saw this news last week. Remember, we hit a big Deutsche Bank on this. We did it a couple weeks ago, so I was like, wow, very similar news. It started reacting. The option chain was cheap. It was at 50 cents, and I got filled at 15. I put in a limit order at 15. I remember seeing it on the ask there, so I said, all right, I got filled. I got 3 of them for 15 cents. They went up over 100%. They came down, and now they're chilling around there. So gonna be riding that one out, but that one had bad news, so watch watch out for them. And then the third play, this one's jumping back here to the inflation value trades. I went with an Altria. I grabbed 10 of the next week 57.5 calls. I grabbed them early in the morning. I overpaid. I was actually the highest on that chart, and then they came down, came back up, and then they kind of moved later in the day. So we'll see how that one plays. But like we said today, everything really sold off, and you didn't get any love with the inflation plays. And then that leads to the next one. I also went with the AbiVi. I got a better fill on this one. I waited throughout the end of the day, but AbiVi was down like 2 or 3%. So I said, all right, let me grab one. They have ex-dividend this week, and then if this is kind of the first day sell-off and they kind of come back with this trend, maybe we get lucky. So I did a $20 play. I grabbed the 180s for next week. Got them at like 22 cents there. Came up a little bit, but we'll see what happens. And then finally, I went with a play here on Yang. And this one, I think I'm early on this one. I think kind of like the EWG, maybe an extra day, or if China chills out one more day, we could get these a lot cheaper. I went with the Yang July 24 calls, and this one, it's like playing the UVXY with time, so it's kind of interesting, but this is shorting China, and literally the lockdowns, Shanghai Composite, everything going on. I don't think it looks good. The stock's made a big move, and I'm just worried about the premium, so pretty much on the next premium crush, I will average down on this one. If these go down like 30 to 40%, maybe a little bit less, but we'll see. But really like that one. Those were the only other plays. I did sell one of the 2 AMDs that we had for May. We bought them a couple weeks ago. They went up like 100%. I sold one, keeping the other one there barely for free. So we'll see what happens. But other than that, no other plays. Tomorrow is going to be very straightforward. Like I'm saying, monitoring a lot of what we're in. Again, wheat, corn, commodities, those are very, very key. Oil, a lot of people asked me about this today. I don't think it's going to be a good week. UNG and natural gas, they're doing great. And it doesn't mean that materials and other stuff won't do good. But now with that China situation, and then after all these barrels, we're starting to see the momentum drop. But I don't think Brent is going to fall below 90 or 95. Maybe 95, we'll see. But I don't think it'll break 90. So we will see what happens. But Chad, that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure hydrate, healthy, ready to go. Make sure post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shine. I need you to remember, if you don't use it, you're gonna lose it, baby. Even the bridesmaid have money for the next move, baby. But listen, you better use that talent. Stop wasting it, baby. Let's go. It's all hype now, baby. It's not even awkward. We in the game. They think how crazy I am, baby. Let's go.